All right, well, joining us now are members of the Alamogordo athletic training class staff. First off, we've got David Maldonado, who's the head athletic trainer at Alamogordo High School. David, how are you?
Good, I'm doing good, Charles. How about yourself?
Not too bad. But yeah, do you call your group here a staff? Do you call them?
We go with program.
Program. Okay.
Yeah, it's the athletic training program of Alamogordo High School. It's what we're building. It's a program that we've built, and it's doubled in size since it was last year. It's exciting. These three girls got to come on the radio today because they won our first ever scavenger hunt for National Athletic Trainers Month. Okay. So that's why they're here. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, it's the it's the Alamogordo athletic training program. That's what we call ourselves.
Okay, sounds good. Well, why don't you introduce the group that you got here with you?
So we got three really good ladies with us. We got Dana Vickrey, Ella Dean, and Adriella Mendoza.
All right, very good. Ladies, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, happy to have you all here. And well, let's first talk about that. I mean, David, I'll let you explain. You said a scavenger hunt. What exactly were going on here?
So March is the National Athletic Trainers Month. So what we're doing is trying to promote athletic training. So these ladies were given tasks that they had to do. So one was they had to tape a kid's non-athlete's wrist just during class passing period and post it on Instagram. They did that. Have a teacher go through a concussion protocol that we do. Just answer questions and they have to answer them back. Repeat it to them. They had to take pictures. A bunch of different cool stuff that we did. We posted it on our social media, and people got to look at it and stuff. So it was pretty fun. We're just trying to promote athletic training here in Alamogordo and promote the program as well.
Dana, which one of those did you do? Did you do all of them? I mean, was that the goal to do all the different scavenger hunt pieces?
I taped a wrist and ran through the concussion test with 2 different teachers, actually.
Okay, very good. So when you ask a teacher to go through the concussion protocol, I mean, are they happy to do it? Or are they kind of looking at you a little bit weird, or?
They were kind of unsure because one really struggled with it, and then the other really got it. So it just depends, and they were both kind of hesitant, but they eventually came around.
All right, so talk about tape. Did you tape up somebody's wrist in class? No,
I didn't, but I did take a picture with another health profession, and when I asked her, she was like, okay, sure. She was my orthodontist. It was really fun, though.
Yeah. Was that part of it, though, for you guys to not be shy, to be able to go up and talk to somebody? Is that part of it all for you guys?
Yeah, and like he said, it's just trying to promote, what we do, and it was just awesome to talk to someone like that, so.
Adriella, what were some of the things that you did for the, go ahead and get a little bit closer on the mic.
Okay,
there.
So I did, it was we had to
Ankle rehab.
the ankle rehabs and then the 6 domains of athletic training. Mm-hmm. We had to create a special way to list them or whatever. I had to do that, and then I did an ankle rehab exercise on someone. So
okay, very good. David, talk a little about the athletic program or the athletic trainer program doubling this year, because I know that's, I think we had talked about it at the beginning of the season, and you saw some increase last year, but is there something maybe you attribute it to, or just more kids knowing about it?
More people know about it, and then the fact that I think my program's a little different than how it was ran before, so I think more people are excited about it. They allow these girls to do stuff that wasn't done before, and then more and more of these people are understanding that more experience you get in high school looks better on your resume, so they actually get to see the experience that we do on the field, and they're like, why do you get to go do that? Why are you on the field? or why are you leaving class when football's leaving? That's kind of what got more and more people involved. We actually got 3 males to be part of our program this year, which is a good thing because we didn't have any males last year, so that's a good thing. And then we finally got some athletes understanding that they can also do it when they're not playing. They can come do this as well. So that's also helped a little bit.
Well, 2 of the 3, or all 3 of you are athletes in sports? I think it's 2 of the 3, right? 2. Okay. I wasn't sure about Ella, but I knew with Dana and with Adriella. Dana, how did you learn about the athletic training program?
Well, sophomore year I took it, and then I, liked it. And then last year I really jumped into it about this time to compete with David and help out that part of the program.
Okay. And is this something that you hope to continue after high school? Keeping with athletic training, getting into similar type of things in college?
I'm on the fence, but okay. I'm considering it.
Yeah, but it's good to have the experience. At least gives you some on-the-job training, gives you an idea of maybe doing it in college?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ella, how about you? Is this something that you want to continue after this? Or?
It's definitely, right there, and it's something I know and love to do, so it's definitely there, but I'm not really sure.
Not sure yet. All right. Adriella, how about you?
It's an option. Really thinking about it. So.
Okay. And that's, I mean, Dave, that's good to hear. And I know there's probably other athletes that, you didn't bring with you today that are, seniors and are probably, starting to think about doing this after college. Is that a big thing that's important to you within the athletic trainer program?
Actually, I want to, I don't want to just develop athletic trainers. I know this, I kind of promote the program as I'm trying to develop other healthcare professionals out of Alamogordo High School. We do have, so last year Misa is actually applying to the athletic training program in New Mexico State as we speak. And then Devin Brown, one of our wrestlers, actually wants to be an athletic trainer as well. So he's just looking into what colleges he wants to go to, just based on what's going to have wrestling and athletic training. So that's pretty exciting to see those two. And then we'll see where these three go. Audrey and Dana are both going to graduate this year, so I'm excited to see what they choose to do once they graduate here. So I'm just excited that our program is more not just about athletic training, it's about developing nurses, doctors, anesthesiologists, physical therapists, speech pathologists, just a bunch of different things. I don't really care what they decide to do. I just want them to hopefully pick a profession and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anything, just to get the experience, I mean, it certainly seems like that people skills are a big part of this, and that's something that, whether they choose to go into the medical field, any kind, or athletic training, something that'll help them going forward after high school, right?
Exactly. These girls, they're held to a standard. We call it the gold standard, which stands for tradition, honor, excellence, and the gold standard is just kind of our mantra. So they're held to that standard, so every time we go talk to different athletic trainers or team physicians, they're expected to introduce themselves and understand that someday that guy might be writing a letter of recommendation for them, or they might be working for that doctor or that athletic trainer at some point. So that's something that I always push for them, especially when we have football, when there's two athletic trainers on the field most times. I have them introduce themselves, and if they have other student athletic trainers, they have them introduce each other. That way who knows, you might end up at New Mexico State and you'll be in the same class as that one athletic trainer from Chaparral or Santa Teresa. So hopefully that builds a little bond for you guys that you were at high school. So yeah, it does. The people skills is a huge deal that I push for these ladies.
Right on. Audrey, I mean, what do you feel like you've taken away from being in this program? I mean, how many years have you been working with the athletic trainers program?
I started last year.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard about it for since 8th grade, but I didn't start till last year. I actually really fell in love with it.
I mean, is it something you think you can apply to college, even if you don't go into athletic training? I mean, we talked about the people skills and, having to go out there and talk with your fellow athletes and the concussion protocol part of it. I mean, you feel like that's something that'll help you out a bit?
Oh, yeah. I definitely want to go into, the healthcare profession.
Yeah.
So athletic training is definitely an option. I haven't really figured out what I want to do yet, but, yeah, it's definitely an option.
Yeah. I mean, and you are, what, sophomore, junior?
Yes, sophomore.
Sophomore. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you've got a few years, obviously, to try and figure those things out. But, what do you feel maybe is the thing that you've learned most from working with, the other trainers, with David, with the athletes? I mean, maybe don't pick one thing, but what's something that jumps out at you that you feel like, wow, I've really gained a lot from this program, from that?
Shoot, there is so much. Honestly, this is only my second year, but, it's awesome going, all 4 years. So I'm excited about that. But I don't know, I've learned a lot of people skills. I've learned how to talk to people, how to have patience with people. And I've also, a lot of knowledge of athletic training, just not even from just the class, but, just going after school and being with David. I learn a lot, and I, encourage people to come after school because they're like, well, I don't take the class. But just go after school because you learn as much, and it's just crazy. That's just how much, yeah.
Dana, I mean, as you head towards graduate, I mean, you're graduating in May, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think you'll be able to take from this program maybe going forward in college? Again, even if you don't get in the medical field, if you decide to go another direction, what have you taken away from working in the athletic trainers program?
The people skills, like everybody else said, and I don't know, even just the friendships, created. I work with Audrey with baseball, and we've become a lot closer, and it just...
Yeah. Just a fun thing to be able to go out and do and work with fellow athletes, right? Well, and I would also think for those, for you that are athletes, that it maybe gave you a different perspective on the whole situation. Because I'm sure you've had things taped up and all of that. I mean, is that something that's been a little bit different for you, seeing it from this side as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. David, something else I was curious of, and I know I've seen it, that They do have competitions for athletic trainers. Have you guys started to get involved in that? Or
correct. Last year was our first year we competed last year. We're actually going to compete again this year. Okay. We're actually hosting it this year. It's April 22nd. It's on Sunday. That's the only time athletic trainers can do anything.
Gotcha.
So we're hosting it this year, so hopefully we get a big turnout. Last year there was the largest ever competition. It was hosted at Cleveland High School. We did pretty well. Practically, we were amongst the best teams. Just that our test wasn't there yet. Just because that's some education that we need to fix. And this year we're hitting that pretty hard. So I see us being a pretty good team. I'm competing this year on. We have returners that have been to the competition, so hopefully this year that they've been there, they know what it feels like. And then just being at home is going to be a whole different ballgame. Instead of having to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and driving to Rio Rancho, we're going to just have to wake up at 7, and you can be here even at 8 o'clock when we start the competition. It'll be fine for everybody. So yes, we're excited about it. Hopefully we can bring home a blue trophy for Alamogordo in athletic training. It's something that when I was a student in New Mexico State, I was part of Gadsden when they won and when Centennial was winning. So it's something I want to bring that tradition here to Alamogordo, where we're one of those schools where like, hey, they're here to win the competition. Just like last year when Centennial walked in, all the girls knew that they were pretty tough and they ended up winning. But we want that attitude from when we walk in. Like, oh, here's Alamogordo. They're here to win this. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
And are all of you going to be competing in that when it comes up later?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, and have you competed before? Or is this going to be a first time for anybody?
We're all returners.
All returners. Okay. So, Dana, we'll start with you. Somebody who's never been to an athletic training competition, what goes on? I mean, in terms of being able to watch you guys, I mean, what's some of the things that you'll be doing?
Well, we all sit down in like the cafeteria and we just start the written test, and then they'll pull out each group that consists of 4 people, and then they'll take you back and you do 4 different practical things, and you're on time, and they're judging you, and like it just has to be perfect, pretty much. Like,
yeah, if you want to win the trophy, you got to be really good at it.
Yeah.
Ella, what's the most challenging part of the competition from your perspective?
Well, we do practice a lot of practical stuff, so I wouldn't say that would be the hardest unless you don't practice. But the test, in my opinion, there's how many questions? Like
150 questions.
150 questions, all about athletic training. Like, how much can you really know? So yeah, I would say that the test was the hardest.
Yeah, that test is one of the. I mean, it's a pretty hard test. They take it from the test bank from the college test book.
Wow.
So it's stuff that it can be anywhere from how do you put a Band-Aid on correctly to what is like the landmark, or like what muscle attaches to which landmark, stuff like that. So it's a huge test, and it can run from very simple athletic training concepts to very complex.
Even like legal questions too, about like how, like, what things are legal in athletic training and stuff.
Wow.
So that's
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it.
Audrey, I mean, talk a little bit about the practical part a little bit more. What did you have to do last year in the practical part of the competition?
I had to tape an arch.
Okay.
And I also had to do, I had to clean up a cut, I think.
Was it?
Like, yeah. So, like, they have, like, different things laid out on the table, and it, like, I remember last year we had to use 2 different tapes for an arch, and they only had 1 tape. And I was supposed to, I didn't know how to do it, so it was kind of like awkward. Like, I didn't know like how I was supposed to manage, so like I had to like tear it in half. But I actually did pretty good on the taping part. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like nerve-wracking.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, in terms of like cleaning a cut, how do they do that? How do they test you? I mean,
okay, so
it's not like somebody comes in, hey, let me cut myself.
Okay, so like they like mark themselves with a marker and say that's like their cut or whatever, and so like they have on the table like the different like.
They have all the different ways you can clean. They have hydrogen peroxide, alcohol, and water, and you're supposed to choose the correct one, and then you're supposed to have them cover it correctly and have them return to place. So there's different ways you have to do that. Of course, you have to clean it, and then you have to cover it, and then not just with the Band-Aid, but also to keep that Band-Aid on. So they judge that and all that and make sure you're returning the athlete to play correctly. Yeah. And also they had to make sure, they don't really judge on it, but our girls know they're supposed to check the uniform for blood to make sure that's not also on there, because that can also be a factor where the players can't go back in if there's blood on their uniform. So they know how to check for that as well.
Needless to say, there's a lot of steps that you got to be able to get right.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we'll look forward to saying, that's pretty cool that you guys get to host that. I mean, how did that come about that you guys...
Well, the person that runs it, she was my program director at New Mexico State, so we have a really good relationship there. And they kind of rotated. They go one year the North gets it, the next year the South gets it. So this year it was the South's turn, and I put our name in the hat for it, and it was between us, NIMI, and Las Cruces, and Las Cruces hosted it before that, so they were going to give it someone else a shot. So hopefully they enjoy coming to Alamogordo, and we can do that more often. We probably won't get it for a little while after this, but we'll hopefully we keep competing, and someday it comes back. But I'm really excited to host it this year. It's really going to be good for our program, and it's good for just for our girls to and guys to hopefully we compete well. And normally the southern schools are pretty good. The Las Cruces schools are really well, and the Gadsden School District, they're all really good athletic training programs. So hopefully we become one of those programs that everybody knows that we know what we're doing down here.
And is it across all classifications, or is this just 5A?
Yeah, usually it is okay. All classifications, but mostly it's the big schools that have these programs, so it's the 5As and 6A schools. I really don't think there's smaller schools than that have most schools smaller that don't have athletic trainers anyway, so that's something we're trying to fix in the state. But
yeah, I understand. And so how many schools? I mean, so 20, 30, 40 schools? Or
less than that. I think it was 20 schools last year we had. So it was pretty much majority of the Albuquerque schools, all the Las Cruces schools, all but one Gadsden School District school was there, and then us, and then the Farmington schools as well.
Dana, I'll start with you. I mean, what would you like people to know most about the athletic training program at Alamogordo High School? I mean, there's so many students that get involved in it. In terms of maybe getting as you're graduating, you want to get people that continue to work in this program, continue to grow. What do you think is the best thing they should know about what you guys do on a regular basis?
We are here to help, and I mean it's a great learning experience. So even if you're not sure, still come out and even just give it a try for a week or so.
All right, sounds good. Ella, most rewarding part of working in the program, what have you enjoyed most about all of this?
I would say just everything that you learn from it, and because it also just goes on college applications and stuff. It's like a big package of everything. It's awesome.
Yeah. Adriella, how about you? I mean, when you look back at your time working with the athletic training program, what's going to stand out for you?
There's so many memories with athletic training. David's created so many memories. I've made a lot of new friends in athletic training. It's crazy to think that you're gonna miss out. If you okay, so I think people should come and join athletic training because they'll create so many memories and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you get involved with athletics in a certain way, and if you have other activities, or if you're, parents that are listening out there or kids that are listening out there, you probably, you're an example of it. Dana's an example of it, that you can do a sport or do other. I'm sure you guys have a ton of different things that you got going on, so you're able to fit this in along with it, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just so much to do, but we still manage to come back into athletic training.
Yeah.
David's really understanding too. So if we're really busy, he knows. So that's awesome too.
And David, I think that's a good part of having so many kids in the program this year, that you can allow all of them to be able to be involved with other things, whether it's a sport, whether it's an activity, whether it's something else, right?
Yeah. Well, they're held accountable just like a job. So if they tell me ahead of time, so they tell me tomorrow I can't be there because I got church or I got I got a ton of homework I got to take care of, then I understand as long as they tell me ahead of time. I don't like when they tell me 5 minutes before they have to leave, but none of them do that anymore. We've kind of set that standard. But yes, it's having a lot more students now gives them a lot more freedom on when they can leave and when they can't. Most of them don't like to leave. So there's some days where I'm like, go home, get out of here, and they're all like, but we want to stay here. I'm like, okay, you guys can stay here. But there's some days where we're not busy at all, and I'm allow them to go home to go take care of stuff. And they still want to hang out, which is a good thing. I guess I'm not too bad to hang out with, so they're excited to be around.
You're not out there cracking the whip or anything.
Right. But yeah, right now we're going to open up at the application process for next year's Student Athletic Trainers AIDS program. So we'll be doing that at the school. So if anybody's interested in doing that, either come into my office or go to Coach Shock's classroom. We'll have applications there, and they'll have to go through the whole application process like these ladies did, and they'll have to see if they get accepted into the program. As long as you're a good student and are willing to put some work in, you're going to probably get into the program pretty easily. But we're excited. We're excited to compete. We're excited to be part of Alamogordo Athletics. The coaches, Coach Cisco loves the program. He talks about it all the time, especially in football. It was a funny thing. Only one person can make the Gatorade this year, and that was Dana. So Coach Cisco would make sure that if he would taste test it, and if Dana didn't make it, he wouldn't drink it. So this year we're gonna have to replace that next year. So if anybody's good at making Gatorade, you can come replace Dana.
Dana, was there a special process or? No, not sure.
No, I don't know.
Coach just appreciated the way that you took care of the Gatorade. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And a simple way as well, if somebody doesn't know where your office is or Coach Shock's classroom, go to the front office, and I'm sure they can direct you
Correct.
guys.
Yes, we'll get some applications up there as well, and this goes for 8th graders as well. I'm going to do my rounds and go talk to some of the 8th graders. That's what we got. We have 4 freshmen that were 8th graders last year that were applied during the spring, so that's not a problem. So we just got to figure out how to get all that information to you as 8th graders. But it's not hard to do. We just got to. It's a little bit more legwork than it is for a high school student, but we can get it done.
Yeah, and it's something during the summer, obviously, they can find out about as well. And,
correct.
And also, summertime, are you guys still doing things involving physicals? Is that going to be something coming up for you guys?
Yes, actually, we just talked to Dr. Rickman. We're going to be doing a physical clinic on May 19th.
Okay.
So it's a Saturday. It'll be at his clinic just like it was this year. We're going to be hosting that, doing that again for all our athletes. Hopefully you guys come out. That's a huge fundraiser for us as an athletic training program. So more athletes come out for that. You're not just paying Dr. Rickman. All that money actually comes back to our athletic training program, which in turn comes to you as athletes as far as your tape, your Gatorade, your coolers, your cool Gatorade water bottles that we have on the sideline. All that stuff is bought with that money that we use from physicals. So
and parents, your coaches or your kids' coaches will love you if you have the physical done early and out of the way, because I know that's one of the biggest things from our athletes when the physicals are not ready to go. That's such a big thing to have that taken care of and making sure they're ready to go for the new school year, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's always the biggest headache for coaches is if, well, I have my physical, but I don't have it scheduled until like 2 days into 2 days. Well, if you come and get it done now in May, don't have to worry about that. And then you also you'll be under your physical starting on May 19th, and you won't have to get another one until next May. So hopefully more and more people understand that we're trying to get it to where we cover you the whole year. You don't have to worry about getting it. Well, I got mine in basketball season in November, but then when November shows up again, you have to always go chase you down. Oh, you can't be practicing today because your physical's out of date. So now earlier you get it done, and then you have a longer period of time when you actually have it where it's valid for you.
All right, sounds good. Dana, Audrey, good luck and congratulations on graduation. I know it's coming up here soon, so have fun. Enjoy college.
Thank you.
We'll see you out there next year, right?
Yes, definitely.
Sounds good. David, appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to the competition coming up in April.
I'm excited. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you.